Greetings, I am Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and I'm back. I've had a little bit of a layoff with sicknesses and dental issues and laziness, but I'm back. They say better late than never, probably a lazy phrase, but at the same point, I'm here to talk about all the comics of the last 2 weeks that I've missed. So let's get right into it. We'll start with Chewbacca number 3. Now, I don't like the Chewbacca series, and number 3 hasn't changed my mind. 1 and 2 were boring. 3, there was a little bit of action. I kind of was like, oh, maybe this would be kind of interesting, but the story just, I don't care for the characters. It's cool to see Chewbacca saving people. It's cool to see him, but I just don't care for the story that they are telling. I want to like it because, as always, I like to enjoy what we've gotten in the Star Wars comics and with Chewbacca has been awesome, and so I want more of that. But instead, we've gotten this, and it's just boring. I don't like this little girl that he's saved and is running around trying to be a hero. I don't care for the parents. Nobody in it really sticks out. The villain is cool looking, and the art definitely portrays that he's cool and he's menacing in a lot of ways, but I just don't care. And I hate to say that about a comic series because I love all these series. I love reading and expanding the universe, but I just don't care. I'm going to finish it off. I will keep reading, but Chewbacca is just a huge pass, everybody. Just don't really worry about Chewbacca. It's not worth your time. I love Kanan. I love the series. I feel like it's kind of at a little bit of a lull though right now. 7 and 8 have been good, and I like this flashback, this look at young Kanan and how he met Master Balabo and how he and her had this relationship of Padawan to Master, how everything was built together. I just don't think this was as good of an issue as some of the previous Kanans. It's setting the tone though, and I think the fact that we have a setup that looks like Kanan facing General Grievous in the next issue should be really, really cool. And I don't want to say I dislike this one because I really enjoyed it. The art is still amazing. Greg Weisman understands the character of Kanan and everything that's going forward, how he thinks, how he does, and it's really cool to see this flashback. I'd love to see the comic kind of give me a point of all of this, other than just giving me the history. If they're going to do this for more comics going forward and up through issue, I think 10 is, I think they're going to do it at least. I'd like to kind of have a reason behind all of it, and I'm sure they're going to. I'm wondering that, other than just giving us some history, which it's very, very cool history. But as a whole, I very much have enjoyed the Kanan saga, and 8 is still fun. It's not as good as the first, I'll say, 6 issues. 7 and 8 have been that little bit of a lull, but there are very, very cool, interesting tidbits in this comic, and it's worth your time to read it and just see kind of homages back, and you're like, oh, that was going on while this movie was happening. Oh, that was going on during the Clone Wars. It's really, really cool to see. So check out Kanan. It's still a lot of fun. I've poo-pooed the Vader comic for 4 or 5 issues leading into this. I really liked the way Vader started. It really got bad through the middle, but it picked up a little bit in the last issue. And then we got number 12. And I really can say Vader's back. This was really, really exciting issue. We kind of got the resolution finishing of him trying to track down Luke and how he was dealing with him and Afra and everybody that was going forward. Resolved kind of him and Commander. He took kind of the fall a little bit to help. It was really, really interesting, and it brought a good story, and it resolved this whole conflict that goes on through the issues, at least up to the point that we're going to be as the huge Vader Down is about to start. This is really good comic. The art has always been fantastic in Vader, and I have enjoyed that aspect regardless of the story. But I really enjoyed this comic. I really enjoyed a lot that it's done. And I'm looking forward to Vader Down a whole bunch from this, especially as we get to a little bit later in the episode. We got the first issue of Vader Down, and this sets the tone perfectly for what to expect in that huge 6-issue arc that's going to happen. So if you've been skipping Vader for a little bit, come back in at about 11 and 12. You won't have missed him. It's easy to kind of catch back up and set up in what is going to be really, really epic going forward. After Shattered Empire had ended, I needed a new favorite to take over, and the Star Wars comic has done that. 11 was great. I've talked about that one, and I absolutely loved 11. And 12 ended that, and it is amazing. What they've done with this comic, which is kind of the opposite of what Vader was, starting out weak, just building and building, and basically from 6 on, it's been so good. This one just had that feeling of Star Wars while giving you that kind of like ultimate fan moment. We have Han taking down Dengar. We have Luke fighting, the Empire and the Hutts. And then we get Princess Leia and Han with lightsabers. Yeah. This issue has everything. It is an incredible, action-packed, fun issue, and it really sets in as the Star Wars comic is going to tie in with the Vader Down whole series. So it ends kind of this arc that they had going on in with Luke looking for answers, with Han and his wife. They finished that all resolved. We have Sana Solo kind of telling the truth finally. We kind of had this Leia Han beginning of this, their back and forth romance that we're going to see butt into Empire Strikes Back. And as a whole, it's just a really fun comic. So really go back and check out from Star Wars 6 all the way up to Star Wars 12. That's where it really is good. This specific arc, I think, started in like 7 or 8 is where it started. Probably 8 because 7 was the Ben Kenobi one. And it really shows that when people know Star Wars, they can have a whole lot of fun, and that's what this comic was. So Star Wars 12 was my favorite of these series, but I saved this one for the last. Yeah, Vader Down. I love this issue. This is the first issue we get. We've got Vader going to get Luke Skywalker. That's pretty much what he's going to do. He's been told this is where he is. He encounters a huge rebel army. We see basically Vader's piloting skills, how he can literally take down. There's a whole crew of Y-Wings and X-Wings, and he just is taking them out, and they can't do anything until Luke steps in, and they like collide, and Vader crashes on this planet. Luke crashes far away, and Vader is then by himself, and basically the rebellion gets wind of this, and they're like, Vader's on this planet, and they send everybody to this planet. And so we've got Vader sitting on this planet with the entire, basically, rebellion coming to fight him. And we just see the power of Darth Vader. We see the menace. We see what he will willing to do as he takes out people in ships. He takes out people on the ground. He takes out anyone that is around, and he is unstoppable. We've got a little subset of story of Luke kind of also crash landing, and he's a little bit away as Vader's trying to catch him. We've got, the others, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, all of them are going to have little parts of this. But at the core, it looks like this is going to be Darth Vader chasing Luke while everyone else is chasing Vader. And that is really cool. That it's going to be a 6-episode or a 6-issue arc, and it's going to take place, in the Vader Down comics that we have, as well as crossing over into the Darth Vader comic, as well into the Star Wars comic. It's 6 parts. I'm so excited for this. It was a little bit different art when it came to the Vader, and I liked it. It was a little more stylized, a little more kind of felt more like Shattered Empire, kind of the look of a lot of things, and I really loved it. The story is really, really good. It sets the tone that we're going to get this epic kind of ending of these like Vader and Star Wars comics. I don't know what they're going to do afterwards, but kind of that ending of what we know. This might be the end of this timeline. I don't know exactly what their plans are going forward with it, but as a whole, check out Vader Down. It's going to be 6 issues. If you buy any comics this month, the rest of this year, finish out the Vader Down. Read all of Vader Down throughout as it's going forward, and make that the one you're going to follow. Even if, even though I say Star Wars, the comic was better than this first one, I think the story Vader Down is going to be better as we move forward. So check them out. So what do you guys think? I know this was a really quick review, getting caught up on all the comics and a lot of different things, but which ones did you love during these last couple of weeks? Did you hate Chewbacca as much as I did? What did you think of Kanan? Do you think Star Wars 12 was the best, and are you as excited for Vader Down as I am? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I am Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and may the Force be with you. Always.